The Miscalculations of Lightning Girl. Chapter 3. Uncle Paul stays with us for 3 nights. I hate that he's about to leave, even though he forced me out of the apartment every day while he was here. We've gone for ice cream, gone to the movies, bought groceries, and gone bowling. He bowled. I watched. I give Uncle Paul a hug in the parking lot. Nana and I don't know when we'll see him again, but I'm happy to get my room back and my bed. Nana kicks in her sleep. It's like she's on a treadmill. I'm gonna miss you, genius. He kisses my cheek. Be good for the old lady. How are you calling old? Nana gives him a hug, then a kiss, then another hug, and another kiss. Okay, Ma, you're turning into Lucy. Very funny, I say. Nana and I watch Uncle Paul get into his Jeep and drive off. He waves an arm through the open window. Nana wipes her eye with her thumb. I turn to go back inside, but she grabs my elbow. Get in the car, she says. What? Why? I notice that Nana has her purse. Just get in. I don't have my wipes or my hand sanitizer. She pats her bag. Get in. I sit, I stand. I sit, I stand. I sit in the front seat, which is harder to do in the car than in the living room. When I close the door, Nana presses the door lock button. Where are we going? You'll see, she says. The car radio plays country music, and Nana sings along, even though she doesn't seem to know any of the words. I stare out the window and count the telephone poles. We drive past Bilo and Cracker Barrel, where Nana works, and the Route 68 Diner, my favorite place to eat, because it has a great name and great curly fries. I've counted 117 telephone poles and 3 traffic lights when Nana turns on her blinker. And I see the sign. Looks like I have a little help reading. East Hamlin Middle School. Why are we here? She parks in a lot that has only 7 cars. Let's go, Nana says. I can't move. Nana gets out and walks around to my side. She yanks open my door, reaches across me, and takes off my seatbelt. I will carry you, she threatens. I know she can't lift me with her bad back, but I'm already taller than she is. I also know that we aren't leaving until she gets what she wants. Tell me why we are here, I say without looking at her. She sighs. My darling genius granddaughter, don't play dumb with me. I'm not. You're going to middle school, she says. I should be going to college, I snap. Or at least high school. I don't think so. You need to work on some of your soft skills before I send you off to MIT. You need to be around your peers. Now, come on. She kisses her palm and pats it to my forehead. Then she starts walking toward the 2-story building. I have no choice but to follow. She's going to sign me up, even if I stay in the car. The best decision Nana ever made was taking me out of public school. Now she wants to send me back. Obviously, her judgment is deteriorating. After I was diagnosed as a savant, school got really hard for me. Not the work. I basically bothered my 2nd grade teacher all day long asking for more math problems. She gave me an old high school textbook and sat me in the back of the classroom. That worked for a while, until the day we celebrated her 60th birthday in class. You're 21,915 days old, I shouted after she blew out the candle on her cupcake. Wow, Mrs. Chu said, that's a lot of days. She was used to me throwing out numbers and calculating everything. She was no longer impressed. And if you die when you're 80, that's 7,305 days, and it'll be a Sunday. That's enough of that talk, Mrs. Chu warned. Then she went to the supply closet to get paper towels because Carter Harrison got frosting in his hair. Hey, Lucy, how many days before I die? Rachel McKay asked. I looked at the wall where all our birthdays were written on cake slice cutouts. If you die when you're 80, you have 26,405 days to go, I explained. What about me? Carter asked. I did a quick calculation. You'll die in 26,202 days. Then I had to tell everyone exactly how long I expected them to live. Really, I was just calculating the days until they turned 80. Some of them would probably die before 80. But Rachel started crying when she heard her best friend, Sofia Garcia, would outlive her by 172 days. What's going on? Mrs. Chu demanded. Lucy's telling us when we're going to die, Rachel said, Her eyes were red and her nose was running. You asked. Mrs. Chu sent me to the main office, and that wasn't the first time. By the end of the year, Nana had enough. She spends more time with the principal than the classroom, she yelled. If Nana had bothered to do the math, she'd have found out that technically that wasn't true. Still, she pulled me out of school and didn't make me go back. I got to stay in our apartment all day, learning some stuff from Nana, and then mostly from my computer. 1,508 days of studying from the comfort of my bedroom. Looks like those days are over. When we got to the main office of East Hamlin Middle, it's obvious that Nana hasn't really thought this through. She hasn't made an appointment, and she hasn't brought along any of my records. Not like that's going to stop Nana when she's on a mission. A secretary gives us a little tour while we wait for the principal. I count the lockers, the stairs, the doors, everything. This hallway is mainly 8th grade, but it also has the music rooms. We have band, orchestra, and chorus. Would you like to see the music rooms? The secretary asks. Sounded bored. No, thank you. I want this to be over. The cafeteria doors are propped open. We follow the lady inside. It's the biggest room I've ever seen. We could have fit 6 of my elementary school cafeterias in here. Sunlight shines through the wall of the windows, and the dust in the air twinkles. The air conditioning pushes these particles around, creating a beautiful fractal pattern. I wish I could take a picture of it, but it can only be seen clearly in my brain. It's a nice school, Nana says. I guess. I tap my toe 3 times. When the tour's done, Nana and I meet with the principal in his office. On his messy desk is a crystal plaque that says, District Principal of the Year. He shakes Nana's hand and tells us to have a seat. I sit in a wooden chair. Dr. Cobb stares, but doesn't say anything. I wish I could explain it to him. If I don't do this routine, my brain will go into frantic repeat mode. The digits of pi will take over like an infection. I won't be able to concentrate on anything but the numbers. Nana pulls an old receipt from her purse and helps herself to a pen from the principal's desk. When's the first day of school? She asks. First day for students is August 27th. And what time do classes start? Homeroom begins at 7:30, but school ends at what time? Nana doesn't let the man talk. 10 after 2. And what grade will Lucy be in? We need to slow down here. Dr. Cobb holds up his hands. Please, Mrs. Hallian, may I ask a few questions? I'm not going to stop you. She leans back in her chair. Great, he smiles wide. Lucy has been homeschooled for how long? 1,508 days. Since 3rd grade, Nana says. And you've been her primary educator, he asks. For the most part. We use a lot of computer resources. Nana smooths my hair. I push her hand away. Do you have her records, he asked. The state requires attendance, grades, and end of the year. All A's, Nana interrupts again. Lucy's very smart. Very, very smart. She doesn't say genius or savant or prodigy. She doesn't mention the lightning strike. Do you have any records? He folds his hand and puts them on his desk. It's like he already knows the answer. I'll email them to you, she says. Nana hasn't kept any records. But I have. All my grades are neatly organized in a spreadsheet, and I have copies of every test, project, and paper stored in folders. We will also need immunization records. She writes that down. Anything else? Joyce is getting the rest of the paperwork. You'll find everything in there. Good. Nana clicks the pen closed and gives it back to Dr. Cobb. He looks at me again. You're 12? I nod. Well, Lucy, welcome to East Hamlin Middle and to 7th grade. He offers me his hand. I don't shake it. Lucy doesn't shake hands, Nana explains. She's afraid of germs. That's true. And Nana is forcing me to be part of this germ-infested community where the people are called my peers only because we're the same age. My real peers are creating algorithms and solving problems. They'll be changing the world while I'll be wasting time memorizing textbooks and ducking dodgeballs. I can't wait to see what happens in Chapter 4.